must be Liani. I'm Richard.
Yeah, we're going fishing, right?
Not quite. No, but I've got to tell you, Liani, without all these animals that we're going to be finding out about today, there wouldn't be any fish to go fishing for. So we're going to look after these animals and find out about them. Then later on, you'll be able to go fishing.
All right.
All right.
Hey, guys. What's this big thing looking at me over here?
Hey, calm down. It's a camera, Bob. We're gonna be on Juice TV, remember?
A camera! I'll just go play over here then.
Jeez, talk about the scaredy cat.
I can't wait to meet all of these kids.
It is gonna be so much fun!
Hey, dude, I'm cool as a cucumber. Just maxing, relaxing. It ain't too taxing. You know how it is. This hospital is gnarly, dude.
Hey, what's all the barking for, man? Actually, that feels kinda nice.
Oh my gosh! I've been waiting my whole life to be on Juice TV! The host is coming! It's finally happening! I can't wait! I can't wait either! I can't wait!
What are these spiky-looking pom-pom things?
Well, they are spiky and they're called short-spined sea urchins. And their spines are used to protect themselves from being preyed upon by predators, fish and sharks. They also use their spines for walking along the bottom of the ocean looking for food. So they're a pretty cool animal. They also have their mouth underneath their body, just like the sea stars and animals like that that are on the bottom of the ocean, but they have 5 teeth. And each tooth is 1.5 centimetres long, and then when they want to eat, they come out and they spread out and they stab and scrape and they make a pulpy soup out of the algae or the dead animal on the ocean floor, and then they suck that pulpy soup up into a groove in each tooth into their tummy. That's pretty weird, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep.
I did a little fun fact fishing, and it turns out their 5 teeth can sharpen themselves and be replaced every few months.
And you know what? In some places like New Zealand, they eat them. They call it kina, bro.
That's cool, bro. So what's another fun sea urchin fact?
All right, well, believe it or not, amongst all those spines, these little guys have lots of little tube feet as well. And they actually use them for holding onto the rocks and sticking onto the bottom so that animals can't flick them upside down to eat them. Because underneath where their mouth is, there aren't very many spines or they're short, so they're vulnerable to being eaten or smashed apart by fish. So they don't want that to happen, so they use their little tube feet and their spines to wedge into the rocks. Pretty cool.
She's coming this way. Pick us next. Pick us next. Pick us next, Liani. Pick us next. Wait, where are you going? What? You're going to the cucumbers? Oh, come on. We're the stars of the show. We're cool as cucumbers.
Okay, bring that camera nice and close.
All right, these ones are our tropical sea cucumbers. Now, they're related to the common sea cucumber, but these ones are found a little bit further north in Queensland. And can you see that bright orange colour?
Yeah.
What do you reckon that means?
Poisonous?
Absolutely. They are poisonous, but they're okay to touch. But they're using that orange colour to say, danger, don't eat me, I'm poisonous. If you put me in your mouth, I might make you sick or kill you. And there's a reason that they've got that is because we're going to get to touch it and find out how it feels. Are you ready?
Okay.
Got your pointer finger? All right, let's reach in and have a little touch. How do they feel? Are they hard or soft? They're super soft. Now, do you know why they're so soft?
No.
It's because they barrack for New South Wales. No, it's because they're actually made full of water and they have no bones. They've got very delicate skin and they're easily eaten. So the only way they can protect themselves is to have that bright orange colour. Don't eat me, don't put me in your mouth or I'll make you sick or kill you. So that's how they roll. Do you see those beautiful branches coming out the top ends there? Yeah. That's how they feed themselves. They use those branches for holding out in the water and they collect plankton. As the water rushes past, they trap the plankton in them. They drag one branch at a time into their mouth, scrape that food off. If there's no food around or they're not eating and they're not hungry anymore, they drag those branches inside their body and you don't even get to see them.
These cool cucumbers can be found sucking up the ocean's floor like a vacuum cleaner.
All right, now these ones are our common black sea cucumbers. Let's have a little touch, see how they feel.
It's like soft.
It is super soft as well.
If it's soft and it doesn't have bright colours, how does it protect itself?
That's a good question. As we know, the tropical cucumbers, bright red, don't eat me. These ones, they use their black colour, so it's colour again, but they're using their colour to hide amongst the rocks, their habitat, and they're hidden, so they're camouflaged.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what they eat?
No, what do they eat?
They eat the sand off the bottom of the ocean. They eat up the sand because in the sand there's tiny little bits of food, there's plankton and there's bits of algae. So they eat up the sand, they absorb whatever food's out of the sand, and whatever's not food, out the back door. They poo out clean sand. So the next time you go to the beach, Liani, and lying on the sand, just remember where that came from.
Ew.
All right, so they eat the sand, but their mouth end is only for eating food.
What does that mean?
It means they breathe through their bottom.
So cucumbers, they're vegetables, so can we eat these?
Well, actually, these ones some people do. Yes, they do. In France, they call it bêche de mer, and in Indonesia, they call it trepang. So they strip the skin off them and take the guts out. Basically, they're like a salty tofu, but they absorb the flavours of whatever sauces you put with them.
Yeah.
High in protein. Don't think I'd like to eat one.
No. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with some more marine life. You seem to know a lot about your marine life, but do you think you have the skills to take home the title of the Marine Life Master?
I reckon I've got what it takes. Bring it on. What have you got for me?
What's the biggest marine animal in the world?
The blue whale. Huge. Bigger than 3 buses long.
I've never seen anyone ride a seahorse. Why do they have that name?
Well, because they're very small. They get a horse because their head looks like a horse, and they're a beautiful creature. But guess what else? Dads give birth to the babies.
What is the tastiest fish?
Well, as a matter of fact, I don't eat fish because it actually makes me sick.
Well, the right answer was salmon.
Oh, sorry.
If you were a fish, what would you be and why?
I reckon I'd be a sailfish.
Think you're more of a clownfish. What do you call a baby shark?
You call it a pup.
Richard scored a 3 out of 5. Lucky his next guest is a 10 out of 10.
Us, it's gotta be us. She's coming this way, Liani. Please, Liani, please, pick us.
Now I'd like you to meet our little mate Bob. He's a baby bamboo shark.
Did you just say baby shark?
Yes, I did.
Baby shark, do-do-do-do-do, baby shark, do-do-do-do-do, baby shark, baby shark, do-do-do-do-do, baby shark, do-do-do-do-do, baby shark, do-do-do-do-do, baby shark.
Now we've got the proper intro out of the way. Tell us some facts about Bob here.
All right, now Bob is a baby brown banded bamboo shark, so you need to practice that for the rest of the day until you get that right and say it really fast. But Bob is only 4 months old and he came out of this egg. Did you know not all sharks come from eggs?
No, I did not.
No, some sharks are born alive like us, but Bob, when he came out of this egg here 4 months ago, he was only this big. And when you're a shark and you're this big, all the other animals, they want to eat you, so you don't go up to be this big. That's 1.5 meters long. That's how big he's going to get. But when he popped out of that egg there, he popped out from inside there, and he swam away, Mum and Dad shark weren't there to look after him. He was on his own. Now, when you're that big and you're on your own and everyone else wants to eat you, guess what you need to do?
Hide.
You need to hide, spot on. So see those beautiful brown and white colours he's got there? This one uses his colours to hide amongst the rocks in the sand. So what's that word called when animals use colour to hide again?
Camouflage?
You got it. Camouflage. So he's using camouflage to hide in his habitat. When he grows up and gets bigger, he's going to change colour because he doesn't need to hide when he's big enough and strong enough and ugly enough to look after himself. He's going to become a grey-brown all over. That's Bob. Can you say Bob the baby brown banded bamboo shark for me?
Nope.
Okay.
So is there a reason that we can't pat Bob?
Yeah, there's actually 2 really good reasons. One is that he has powerful crushing teeth. He likes to eat foods like crabs and shellfish and prawns. So if we put our finger in there to give him a pat, he might mistake your finger for a prawn with the shape of it and go on the end of your finger. That would really hurt, even though he's a little fella. It'd be a bit like having your finger hit with a hammer. So that's nasty. So that's one good reason we don't touch him. But the more important reason we don't touch him is for his own well-being. Sharks are very sensitive animals. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, they cry at sad movies.
Never knew my father.
Come here, Michael.
Oh, Bruce. Oh, it's It's okay, Bruce. Friends are family too.
But they do feel every little bump and vibration in the water. That's how they find their food when they're hunting at night time, because he's a nocturnal feeder, which means he feeds at night and he sleeps during the day. So they can't see at night, so they need to be sensitive to feel that movement of food around them. So if we had people touching him all the time, then that would be an overload of information for him and it would stress him out and he might die. So we just look at him, but we don't touch him.
Yeah. And last but certainly not least, introducing the stupendous starfish. It has...
Actually, sorry to stop you right there, but I have to burst your bubble a little bit. We don't call them starfish anymore. Do you know why?
Why?
Because they're not a fish.
What?
Do they have a tail like a fish? No. And you can see they have no scales, they have no gills. Guess what else they don't have?
What?
They don't have any blood. They pump water around inside their body to survive, not blood. So they're not a fish. They were never a fish. We've been calling them the wrong thing for a long time. Do you know what we should be calling them?
What?
Sea stars.
So, Richard, can I touch these guys?
Absolutely. You ready? Let's go. In we go. How do they feel?
They're like rough. Why are they so rough?
Because they often live in shallow water habitats where the waves crash and bash on top of them. So they need tough bodies to protect them from the harsh habitat where they live. Yeah, all the animals that we've looked at and touched today all belong to the same group of animals.
Really?
Absolutely.
How?
Well, they're all animals called echinoderms. Can you say echinoderms?
Echinoderm?
Yeah, congratulations and well done. You've just spoken a different language, and that language you've just spoken is called Latin. Latin is an ancient language and we still use it today for naming groups of animals. That's called classification.
Echino is Latin for spikes and derm is Latin for skin.
So echinoderms, the group that they belong to, spiky, spiny skin. They're the group of animals with spiky or spiny skin. Now some of them, like our other sea stars that we've got here, the blue sea stars, they don't have spiky skin, but all echinoderms have got tube feet somewhere on their body.
That's right, we're not spiky. It doesn't hurt to touch us.
All the animals that we've touched so far all have tube feet, don't they? But guess what else? None of them have any blood. They all pump water around inside their body to survive. That's why we don't call these guys starfish anymore. They're an echinoderm. So we call them a?
Echinoderm.
Yeah. So they're not a starfish, we call them a sea
Star.
Awesome.
Hey, that was pretty cool.
Oh my, didn't Liani do a smashing job?
She was incredible.
Yeah, that wasn't as scary as I thought it would be.
Hey, bro, you're facing the wrong way, dude.
Oh, yeah, but it's less scary this way. Yeah.
It's okay, little guy. We're finished now anyway. It's time to go home.
Home? We can't go home yet. Liani hasn't interviewed us. All we've ever wanted was to be on Juice TV. This isn't fair. Wait, look. They're coming back for us.
So these next sea stars, they're a beautiful, beautiful blue colour. They're our blue Linkia sea stars. And with that colour, guess where they're found?
In the sea.
In the sea. Oh, you're very good. But whereabouts in the sea? What habitat?
Wouldn't it be like the tropics?
Tropics, yep, the coral reef, absolutely, where there's lots of colourful coral. So they're using their colour to blend in, to hide, to camouflage, there's that word again, with the coral reef so they don't get found, so they don't get eaten. And while they look beautiful and blue and velvety coloured, tell me how they feel.
They're still rough.
They're still rough and hard, aren't
Their
they?
skin's rough.
Yeah, they're really tough. They actually feel a bit like wood, don't they?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, so they need tough bodies too because they're in the shallow water habitat in the coral reef where waves can crash on them. So they too need to protect themselves.
How do these sea stars eat?
All right, have you had your lunch yet?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a pity. Because if you didn't, you could eat the way they eat. Would you do that tonight for dinner if I tell you how they eat? Are you going to eat the way they do?
It depends.
Oh, no, I need a solid yes or no.
I feel this is a trick question.
Oh, no, I want a solid yes or no. Say yes.
Sure.
All right, excellent. Well, the sea star, what they do is they climb over the top of their food. Their mouth is underneath them with their little tube feet underneath. And they actually spit their stomach outside their mouth. Their stomach comes outside their mouth, they soak up the food across their tummy, and when they've had enough, they suck their tummy back inside their body again. So you're going to eat your dinner like that tonight. That's wonderful.
That's one gross sea star fact. Wow, we've certainly learned so many fun facts today. Richard Shaw earned his crown as a marine life master. amazing animals today.
And so which one do you reckon was your favourite?
That's tricky, but I'd have to say Bob.
Bob, he was awesome. He's a beautiful little shark, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Before we leave, Richard, is there a message you want everyone else to know?
Okay, well, I think the big message is after we've been around and looked and touched all the animals and found out about them, their job is to live on the bottom of the ocean and to keep it clean. They are known as the vacuum cleaners of the ocean floor. So it's really important we look after them, because if you want to be able to go fishing in future, if these guys aren't there doing their job, there'll be no fish there left to be able to fish for. So it's really all our job to look after them. If we keep plastic pollutions out of the water and we be careful when we're washing the car not to wash it on the road but wash it up on the grass so all those chemicals don't go out into the sea, if everyone thought a little bit more about what they did with their day-to-day lives, then these guys are going to be here, there forever, and the sea is going to be a healthier place.
I hope you guys enjoyed all the marine life. I'm Liani. Bye.
Bye.